Now, time to meet our second virtual guest. This actor has played iconic roles in Back to the Future, Spin City and The Good Wife, and on top of that has raised almost $1 billion for his Parkinson's Disease Foundation. Please welcome the great Michael J. Fox! Hey! Hello, sir. Such a pleasure to have you on the show. Where do we find you this evening?
I'm in my office. My office downstairs in my building. It's the same building I live in, but I can't enter it through the building. I have to go outside and walk around the block, so it's kind of a commute.
Well, thank you for doing that. Lovely to see you. And this Christmas, you bring us, this is your fourth book of memoirs, and this is No Time Like the Future. An Optimist Considers Mortality, and it's out now. And it's fair to say, over the last couple of years, your optimism has been severely tested.
Yeah, I had a couple of years. First of all, I want to say, the next book I come out is going to be called Yes, Fork It for the Love of God. The book came about because I'm famous for this optimistic attitude, and that kind of it's serious and it's sincere, but it can sound glib. And I found myself I had a spinal surgery in addition. I had Parkinson's for 30 years, but I figured that out, and I kind of managed to live my life, and it took up its space, and I filled the rest of the room with. Rest of the space with my life and with joy and achievement with my family. But then I get this spinal thing. I had a tumor on my spine. I had surgery on that. I had to relearn to walk again. I was in rehab for 5 months to learn how to walk again. Finally learned to walk again. I was alone in my house for the first time ever since this happened. And I walked into the kitchen. I slipped and I fell down and shattered my arm. So while I was lying down with a broken humerus, I ended up getting 19 pins and a plate in it. I was lying on the kitchen floor waiting for the ambulance to come, and I just thought, this sucks. I'm out of the lemonade business. I can't put a shiny face on this. And then it really sat with me over the time that I healed from the broken arm. I thought, Parkinson's kind of snuck up on me. The spinal cord snuck up on me. But this was just violent and quick and sudden, and it just happened. And it just really depressed me. And I thought, well, what about people who have real problems? And I'm telling them, chin up, everything's going to be okay. And maybe it isn't going to be okay. So that led me into what the book is about.
One of the things I found really moving in the book was the way you paid tribute to the achievements of your children. Was it Sam who helped you with a bit of online trolling?
Yeah, I'm terrible with the virtual world, with the whole online thing. So my daughters see my Instagram, they do all my Instagram posts, and my son is there to kind of troubleshoot for me. And very early on in it, my daughter explained to me what FOMO meant, because that was my whole life. I was fear of missing out because I couldn't catch up with everybody, and so she taught me that. But then I got in trouble on Twitter with somebody who said something nasty about Parkinson's, and I usually let that stuff just go by me. It doesn't happen that often, and when it does, I don't really care about it. But I wanted to answer this guy in some way. So my son said, "Just do this. Do SMH." And I said, "What do you mean SMH?" He said, "Just trust me. Do SMH." So I answered the guy back, SMH. And he answers me back, "It's the funniest thing I've ever read in my life. You're the king of the internet. I apologize for anything I said to you, blah, 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 blah." And I said to my son, "What the shit did you say?" And he said, shaking my head.
Very good. In the book, you talk about your travels and traveling places. Is there anywhere in the world you can go where Back to the Future, people have not seen Marty McFly in Back to the Future?
My first thing I was going to say was Antarctica, but I bet they have. I don't know, maybe some islands off of Siberia, Kamchatka or something. But I know it's pretty universal. It's amazing the way it's hung in there. It kind of reminds me of when I was a kid in Canada. We had like 2 stations, and so they played a movie once a year, and you kind of know it was coming. And for me, it was The Wizard of Oz. I could wait to see The Wizard of Oz. They play it every Christmas, and I'd watch it every year just to see the flying monkeys. Because we had no videotapes, we had none of that. I couldn't download it. So, and I kind of feel like I'm someone's flying monkey.
Well, people have such affection for that film. Nina Sasanya is here. Now, Nina, that Back to the Future for you is a romantic film.
Well, yeah. I mean, me and my partner bonded over Back to the Future, and in order to win his heart, I got my one and only Valentine's card that I've ever bought that said on the front, "You are my density," which is a line from the film that George McFly says, "You are my density," and gets it completely wrong, and it's just a lovely... And he's still with me, so it works. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you've never bought another one. That'll do, that'll do.
You must have seen that very popular animated GIF that was going around in the middle of lockdown where it has Christopher Lloyd as Doc Emmett Brown with the DeLorean saying to Marty, Marty, whatever you do, don't set it to 2020.
Because Jamie Oliver, it was similarly a romantic thing for you.
Well, my wife loves Michael J. Fox and Marty, and therefore my job was to buy about 100 plaid shirts over the last 20 years, body warmers and high tops, and sadly it doesn't quite do the job, but, you know, I do my best.
Can I just say my wife is a cookbook author. She did a book on Mostly Plants with her family, and she loves Jamie Oliver, so it's...
Let's just do a swap.
Yeah. Celebrity wife swap.
Thank you.
Now, you mentioned your foundation. The work, I mean, that is a phenomenal amount of money that you've raised over the years.
Yeah, it's been incredible. We have all credit to our staff and our leadership. Debbie Brooks is my co-founder, and she's amazing. And they just... the only thing I tell you is that we've been in business for 20 years and we've spent $1 billion on research. I wish we had the answer, but we don't have it yet. My fondest hope would be by this point we would have it. But we're certainly on our way. We're the pointy part of the spear. We're really going into areas that we're getting into now, imaging and finding biomarkers, ways that you can identify the disease before symptoms are evident, and therefore treat it prophylactically and effectively have a cure. Although it's not finding the cause and then the cure, it's cutting it off. But if we can get there in the next 10 years or 5 years, I'll be very happy.
That is extraordinary work. Listen, Michael, it's been a real privilege talking to you. Good luck with the book, continued success with the foundation. Michael J. Fox, everybody. Thank you so much. Wow. I mean, yeah, we don't do anything. That's humbling, isn't it?
Yeah, he went from being the luckiest person in the world to the unluckiest in a way, because he was this kid who was suddenly this enormous film star, and then to get that diagnosis.
Yeah.
And such bad luck afterwards.
Well, except that what's weird is that after the diagnosis, then he still, you know, he had a career that they told him he wouldn't have, and, you know, it's really only the last couple of that spine thing in his arm
been held up,
has really kind of screwed him up. But an amazing man, amazing.